All right, I think we are live. Let me just double check, make sure that hit the spot. Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully, we are coming through clearly. I just want to get this up and going. Today's stream will be much like the same. I don't have a reason to really switch things up. I am still going to call it the Washtenaw word, even though I'm going to talk globally, talk about reparations. And I want to know, are Black Americans afraid of talking about reparations to Dwights? It's plain as that, because I hear people having conversations amongst themselves, but they don't really have these conversations with people that don't look like them. And I think that it's more out of fear as to what someone's going to say. Brother Tony D, what's going on with you? Checking in early. I appreciate you. Hopefully you'll be able to stick around for this one, brother. Maybe even come up. I'm going to throw the link out there because anybody that has something to say on this subject, I always want them to be able to speak freely. But I'm not going to really hold you up. I'm going to get these shares out. And while I do that, let me hit this intro music and we'll be back to cook on, are Black Americans afraid to talk about reparations to Dwights? We need to know.
This revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the Black people in this country are demanding, and even the Black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
We got a problem here? We got a problem here? We got a problem there?
All the black folks you want, baby. But you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, baby, and you give us nothing. Now the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now you kill you want to, but we kill too.
In my mind.
I got that bass strong, Sister Yvette. It ain't in your mind.
In my mind.
Yeah, one more. There you go. What's good, family? What's good? It's Monday afternoon, and it is Washtenaw Word Day. I try to talk about local things, and I am going to get some local things off my chest, but not only am I going to talk locally, but I'm going to talk about reparations, because that's been a topic of discussion. Sister Faye Tex, I'm gonna start out being me. So I got to put the codes in there. You don't want to get triggered over on these social media platforms. So we know what that means. But yeah, I am here, and I think it's time to have the discussion, at least on this platform. I really don't know what everybody else is doing. But for all those listening so far, please like wherever you're at, whether you're on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. Let's get this digital footprint out in these first 15, 20 minutes. As they say that's the most important time. Whoever you've got listening, they need to stretch your algorithm for that first 15, 20 minutes, and that's when you can really get some things popping. But yeah, I'm here. We talking about reparations today. We're talking about some other things. I like to ease into it. I ain't one of them people like to just run right into the topic. I like to ease into it. I got a couple other things that I want to talk about, and then we'll get to the topic, which is reparations today. And we want to talk about local initiatives, which I don't like having people call reparations, but I know that's people going to do what they're going to do. But local initiatives, local policy and legislation, because so many of the areas around the country have messed up, whether it be Evanston or Asheville, North Carolina, or other areas. They've messed up out here talking about local reparations, and it's really not local reparations. We know reparations can only come from one space, and that's Washington, D.C. But states and counties and townships and towns and cities, they want to throw this word reparations around, and it gets black folks all into a tizzy. But my thing is, I've been doing this long enough, and just, I told people that I was going to get serious on this thing. Let me show you too. Let me get this in here. I might have too many screens, so I'm going to take something off here. Let me take something off. What can I take off? Oh, you know what? I can take this one off, because I think I got too many slides up. But let me get ready to get this slide up so I can show y'all. I told y'all I was going to get serious on this thing, and I appreciate everybody riding with me, through this time. We went through the whole hashtag movement, and, I respect anybody that's still moving that way with some sincerity. But from what I know now, a lot of their movements aren't with sincerity, and they're troll-like, and I don't deal with troll activity. I don't have to. I might troll somebody, but I don't want to do that as a collective. I don't think that we need to do that as a collective. We need to be about our business if we really out here talking seriously about, reparative justice. So let me put this screen share in here just so I can show y'all where I told you what I was gonna do. And this is the first thing that I did. Already seeing people in here early, that's a beautiful thing. Give me one quick second. Sister Malka, shalom, greetings to you. I love when y'all come in here early, y'all come in here active, be in the chat. That's a beautiful thing. And the support, and the love is beautiful. So continue to tell people about Freedman Media, and tell them that the message is solid over here. It's thorough, it's truthful. So, you know, we're not doing anything crazy to try to wow anybody except with the truth. You know, if I can wow you with the truth, then I'm gonna be good. If I can wow you with my energy, I can be good. But I can't do none of that goofy shit that where a lot of these platforms, they may be excelling, but they really ain't taking nobody nowhere mentally, physically, spiritually. So let me throw this up here just so y'all can see where I am. I told you this is where I was gonna be. So we're gonna pull that all the way up. Pull that all the way up. Okay. And this was my submission to the Washtenaw County Reparations Oversight Committee. And, you know, let me slide past that. I had to get the address. Those addresses in there. So it said, why do you want to serve on this board and committee? What do you hope to do to achieve in this position? So I put it right out there. I want to serve on this committee based on my extensive knowledge and experience dealing with systemic societal harms against descendants of slaves in America. And then it says, what do you hope to achieve in this position? Although I believe true reparations must come through the federal government, I hope to assist and see through direct policy initiatives from local government that will definitively affect upward change for descendants of enslaved people that reside within the county. So keep in mind that I made sure, that's beautiful. I appreciate you, sister, that I got in there what I look to obviously help with, but also the main thing for me, I want them to see that these are local policy initiatives. This is not reparations. This is not repairing Native Black Americans. If you want to say African American, you're going to do that. I'm saying American freedmen because that's what we are legally classified as. But for them, I didn't want to throw American freedmen and have them saying, well, what is he talking about? Throw it all off. I stayed within the realm of where they needed me to be, because I've heard Black people thrown around. I've heard people of color thrown around, and I don't need to hear any of that when anybody's talking about repairing people based on reparative justice, because nobody deserves that other than the descendants of slaves, just like nobody deserved to be paid other than enslaved people. Don't come for something that's not yours. And I just want to make sure that I put that in there. So please acknowledge the fact that I did what I said I was going to do, and I want everybody doing what they need to do on their local end. If they are starting to build up task force and oversight committees and this, that, and the other in your area, please, by all means, get on these committees. Get on them, because it's important for people who are thorough like yourselves, who are deep enough in the reparations movement to say, hey, I want to have a say in my local area. It's more important than voting. It's way more important than voting, because if you get on things like this, you can sway people who are already in the political process, and then those people will see how serious you are, and then you can kind of move forward. So I'll say it's more important, because pretty soon we're going to start to see local initiatives pop up on our voting ballots. And we've got to make sure that we are versed enough and are a part of that part of the political process, not just being blue or red. We've got to be a part of that process. If they're talking about us, we need to be in the discussion. We cannot let them talk about us and not be a part of the discussion. There you go. There you go. See, they about to start talking that, what about the Irish? I've already got answers for all of that stuff, and I don't even answer to any of that. I mean, my name is Shannon McFall. Yeah, I'm as Irish as they come, right? But I'm not going to be sidelined by people who want to think that way or want to talk about who else was enslaved. There's only one faction of people that were enslaved for 246 years on this territory. Indentured servitude and slavery are way different. We don't even need to discuss them here, because this isn't Reparations 101. We on 301, 401, something. I don't know where we at, but we not on that basement level of reparations. Good afternoon to you, brother Tyrone. What's happening with you? So I definitely had to put that out there. Now that I put that out there, I want to go to the next situation. Give me one quick second. I'm going to stop sharing that. And because I want to get this housekeeping stuff out of the way, you know, and that was actually one of my new drops, because I sent that to the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners. So when I sent it, they should have got this.
You got mail.
There you go. They should have got that. You got mail. You know, once I sent that in, they should have got that. You got mail. So now we want to go to my next email. Where we at here? Okay. Last week I did a stream about the school that is having significant issues dealing with female students, LGBTQ students, trans students. You know, there's just a lot of marginalization going on over there. There's some assaults going on over there. And I'm not going to say allege, because I'm not the article that came out that said there was alleged stuff happening out there. So I'm not going to say allege, because I know some of these things to be actual factual. So I don't need to say alleged, okay? But what I need to do is I need to put out what I know. And I said I was going to put my money where my mouth was, even though there wasn't no currency involved in all this. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I sent an email out to everybody on that staff that has direct contact with these students on a daily basis. I promised to do that last week. And I said the next time y'all saw me, I will have sent an email. And I did send an email. So let me go on and get that up here real quick. I'm on it today. So just letting you know, I'm on it. You know, I took my Flintstone vitamins today and had a good breakfast with my granddaughter today. So I just want to make sure that y'all know where I'm at with this whole thing. I am not coming with no half stepping and no half talking. You know, this is all the way where I'm at, because this is where my platform is. I don't know where other people's platforms are, but I know where my platform is. And where my platform is, it's based on truth. It's based on facts, and it's about the community. It's about the community. So I just want to get this last little housekeeping, because this goes back from last Friday, okay? From last Friday. So we're going to put that in there, all right? And we're going to blow this up. And this was the email that I sent to the faculty, the faculty of Pathways. Good day to all. The reason for my message to you folks is to address the issues that you've been having at Pathways concerning the ongoing daily challenges for female, LGBTQIAP, and other affected students at the school. I understand that many of the folks included on this email have no idea who I am, but please understand that I wouldn't have taken the time to compose this message if I hadn't been in direct contact with former and current parents of Pathways students, Ann Arbor Public Schools, employees at large, as well as current and former employees at Pathways. The issues are obviously now public with the alleged mistreatment article, and I've already spoken on this, what was addressed in that piece based on what was stated. But I would like for the staff of Pathways who have direct and daily contact with the student body to speak publicly to the facts or to the lack thereof on my live stream, because as we all know, there is so much more to this matter. I've included a link to the recent stream that I did regarding this situation, where I spoke candidly and unapologetically how I felt regarding these issues. Please understand that I'm not looking to ridicule anyone. Those on this email who know me know my focus is and always will be on the welfare of the children in this community. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to speaking with you as well, with the parents, students, and other community members who have already agreed to speak publicly on this matter. That was the email. Now, I can't show you the actual email because it's got some blind CCs on it, but it was to, I'll give you everybody that I addressed the email to and their positions, because I think that's important that everybody knows who I actually sent the email to. I sent the email to the dean of the school, Mr. Shanu Maku, the behavioral specialist, Mr. Michael Brown. All of these are community assistants: Courtney Ford, Demario Bruce, Marie Stovall, There was no email listed for Mikhail Brown. I guess he's considered a long-term sub and also has a social worker role. I sent it to Keela Robinson, who is a counselor. I also sent it to Crystal Kennard, and she is a CA as well. And, you know, there have been problems personally with Miss Kennard. So I have direct questions for her as well. When we do hopefully be able to speak on these things, if I am not granted, please understand that if I am not granted the opportunity to speak on these matters with the staff of Pathways, if they decline, you know, my invitation, what I'm going to do is go all in based on the facts that I have. And if there are other people who want to come on the stream other than the staff to speak their truth, I'm going to allow that, because that's why I wanted to give the staff the first opportunity to come on and have a roundtable about this, as well as with parents, with students, and other community members, because it's just that important to me. But like I said, I was going to do some things, and I did some things. So they also got mail.
You got mail.
And they don't have to say that they didn't get it, because I know they got it, or their emails would have kicked back. I sent them to their school email. And from what I know, as I stated last week, that I know many of these people all go to the same house of worship. They church together, they church fam. So I made sure that I checked to see when their service times were, and I tried to send it during their service to make sure that they would all be together when they got the email, because everybody's phone could be going off. Don't nobody turn their phone off in church. So I'll make sure that all their phones was going off. And, you know, and at that point, when they was all getting mail,
then, you got mail.
You know, the preacher was probably preaching and doing his thing, and all everybody's phones going off. That's a good thing. And everybody's getting this same message, and they're seeing that who's tagged in on the email, and they probably looking around like, you get this? You get this? Yeah, I got it. I know they got it. I ain't worried about whether they got it or not. Trust me, at this point, I know they got the email, and we'll move forward from this point. The invite is out. I expect something back, whether it be from Shanu or his secretary or whomever wants to accept. Hopefully nobody declines individually, because then that'll be really bad. But I'm sure they're going to go to the head, which is Shanu, and they will either accept or deny through him. And I'll wait. I'm going to give them a couple more days. I wasn't expecting a response by today, but I want to give them a couple more days, and then we'll see what we can do from this point on, because I know they got it. And
you got mail.
And ain't nobody got dial-up, so I ain't even got to worry about stuff like this. If anybody living like that, that's hateful. I did everything I was supposed to do.
You got mail.
So, yeah, if anybody got dial-up out there still, that's on them, because I sent it high speed, okay? Really high speed. So we good to go. But let's get back into this thing, what we're going to be talking about today. And today we're going to be talking about reparations, okay? It's a serious subject to me, because I know for a fact that Black Americans are at such a disadvantage economically. Economically, we are at such a disadvantage. And I'm not talking about being downtrodden, bottom cast, this, that, and the other. There's people out here that are actually moving. There's people out here that are actually doing some really good things. But they're doing it in spite of not being repaired. They're not doing it because Black Americans don't need or deserve to be repaired. They're doing it in spite of. So I never come at anything thinking like, or trying to make someone think like we're in such bad shape. But what I do notice is that some people feel like because I am doing well, I don't need to talk about reparations. Well, what about you? You're doing well, but how are your kids going to do? How are your kids going to do? You know, how are your grandkids going to do? You see where I'm at? That's that high speed, Sister Yvette. It's that high speed. I'm on that high speed today. So, you know, I thought it was just in my mind, Sister Yvette. I didn't think the bass was that deep. When you told me,
In my mind,
I knew it wasn't just in my mind. So, reparations to me came about as a daily discussion somewhere around late 17, early 18, I guess. I really started talking about it, you know, to people, watching a lot of podcasts, watching a lot of just things that I did not know about. And it was a subject to me that I was kind of foreign to. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know a lot about it. And what I wanted to learn was, why do we need it? Like, you know, why? And then when I learned the channels of things, then I started playing it into my daily life. And, you know, I'm getting myself prepared to come off of what I have looked at as more of a hiatus, because throughout my life, I have this entrepreneurial spirit, and it's allowed me to own and run my own businesses and break my own dollar. And it's not that I'm done doing that for life, but there's some other things that play a bigger part of my picture, that will cause for me to go under someone else's umbrella, which I am not afraid of. One thing that I've always been is an excellent employee. And that's probably because I'm a ridiculous worker. So the crazy thing is that you get to a certain point, if you have the ability to fly your own kite, so to speak, you either are going to take that chance, or you're going to let all of that marinate, fester, then possibly mold if you don't take that chance. And I've taken that chance many a times in my life, and I've come out on the good side of things many times. But when things close up, things shut down, things turn over, you've got to make other moves. So where I find myself right now is in a more of a transitional part of my life. And I looked at some of the businesses early on in talking about reparations. And I looked at some of the businesses that I've owned, and I thought, what if my family had the same economical advantages as people who didn't look like our family? And this is how I tried to play my own story out, you know, using my own lineage analogies. And I know for a fact that had we had the revenue that other people had, and had the abilities to create generational wealth the way other people had, I would have been in a much different situation in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and now into my 50s. So I don't look at my life with a lot of regret, because I think that I've done some great things out here. I think I've done some things where if I had the chance to do them over, I'd do them over, obviously differently. But I believe that I've been a part of some great situations, and I've learned so much, which brings me to this point here of where we are and why we need repair. We were cut from the get. We were cut from the get out here, and we never truly recovered, simply because it was systemically built that way. We were never, ever supposed to survive those 246 years, which could have been longer had Honest Abe not wanted to make some type of business transaction, because that's what I've tried to tell people. Slavery didn't stop because Abraham Lincoln loved Negroes so much. Slavery stopped because it was bad for business. It had got to a point where it was bad for business for America. So they needed to make a change. And he did disclose before he got his head blew off, that had it not been for American freedmen, had it not been for American freedmen, that this country would not have been what it was, because we won the Civil War, and we are the most American people on this soil. You know, I mean, they never gave us our MVP award. So right now we won our MVP award, and our MVP award is reparations. You know, they never gave us, you know, player of the year, player of the decade, player of 246 year. And we want that back. We want that recompense. Sister Cynthia, so good to see you. How you doing today? So I'm looking for repair. I'm looking for that for our people. And what they're talking about doing on the local end is not what is truly owed to our people on the federal end. And I like this backdrop. I use this as a cover photo on Facebook sometimes because it brings out so many things. Reparations is obviously bold right there in the middle, but it brings out so many different things, you know. And what I've learned through the course of my time of been dealing with this, all of this stuff plays. All of this stuff plays beautifully into reparative justice. The one thing that I think gets confused when people start talking about, well, who qualifies for it? It's simple. It's simple. If your lineage goes back to the 1870s or before, you qualify. Your people were enslaved. You know, I mean, you know, I can prove that, you know, I have family on the census all the way back into the 1800s. We have the rolls. I've seen it. So some people can't prove that their family was here before 1950, 1960. Probably means that your family was not a part of chattel slavery, which I don't think that you're any less of a Black American. You're just not a descendant of enslaved people. You can be who you are, but you are originated from another territory. Therefore, or even if you came from the same territory that we came from years before, you didn't get here till then, you do not qualify. This is a lineage-based situation, and it's not just because we have melanin in our skin, and that's being played up a lot out here. I keep hearing Black people, people of color, minorities. No, 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 no. We have to be talking about descendants of enslaved people. We cannot be talking about just Black people. We cannot be talking about just minorities. And you're going to hear me be very repetitive in this. So please understand that if I am repetitive, please understand I don't need very many words when I do a stream like this because it's pretty cut and dry. When I talk about reparations, I talk about American freedmen. Now, whether you want to not classify, because that's what we're classified as, whether you want to identify with an American freedman status, that's up to you. If you want to identify with African-American status, Black American, that's up to you. If people are out here, like I said, are still identifying with ADOS, that's up to them. Just don't be on no goofy shit with it. You know, be real with it. And I can rock with you, but I can't rock with you if you're just going to be on that troll shit, because that's just not what I'm about. There you go. I mean, we all do. We just got to search. We just got to dig. We have people in our family that's really what their expertise was keeping them photographs together, keeping them records together. So I believe that we all can do it. You know, a lot of people are getting on the ancestry sites and this, that, and the other. However, you got to do it to figure out that your people are documented all the way back into them 1800s. Do what you got to do because it's there for the taking. I attended a Zoom meeting hosted by Harvard University with the white descendant of the biggest slave trader in U.S. history. Okay, he's still rich and married to a... Whoa, that last line came in kind of hot. Yeah, see? He old Tommy Jefferson type over there. He old Tommy Jefferson type. I see. He got a taste of that chocolate and said, I just can't low. See, I'd love to go back into the DeWolf lineage and see how many Black babies were birthed out of that lineage, because they probably all loved us. I mean, they loved us one way or the other. They just didn't like us. They loved us because they kept coming for that. They kept coming for that chocolate, but they just didn't like us. And they didn't like us because they were inferior to us. You have to understand that disdain, that hate for us, it didn't come because we were shiftless and we were lazy and we were no good for nothing, as they would always want to call us, because we worked harder than anybody on this soil, just like we do now. We still are the hardest working people on this soil. We are not compensated as such. And we have never been compensated as such, and that's why reparations is due. That's some crazy, crazy info there, though. Still married to a sister. Came for the chocolate and could not leave it. Okay. And the black wife doesn't believe in reparations. See, there you go. There's Sammys and there's Mammies, and she's a mammy. She's a mammy. That's horrible. That's horrible. And is she a freedman? Because, you know, did he get him one? Is that a divestment? Is that a divestment situation, or is she native? If she a native sister, that's really hard on me. How are you married to that man? And geez, that's horrible. I'm about to get off that just so I don't change my mood. I mean, she should have been able to flip him. He came for her. She should have been able to flip him. He knows the detrimental state that his people put us in. And now he got her on that side. See, that right there. When I say are Black Americans afraid to talk about reparations to Dwight's, she's not going to talk about it, because she's going to get ridiculed, because she's going to be one that says we don't deserve it. She's going to be ridiculed. So she is an issue out here. She is one of the people that we definitely have a problem with out here. That's a problem.
We got a problem here?
Yeah.
We got a problem here? We got a problem there?
How do you not believe in reparative justice for the people who have been mistreated worse than anybody on this planet? I can chalk it up to that. There's not anybody on this planet that has been treated worse than Black Americans, American freedmen, or enslaved individuals. We are now the descendants, but we still carry their blood, so we still carry their pain. She is a freedman. He tiptoed around the question of reparations, but he believes something should be done. Something should be done. We got a lot of work to do with the bourgeoisie, bootlicks. I threw that all in there. Dwight liberals, and all groups. Absolutely. And that's why we can't be afraid to have these discussions. Like I said, there's plenty of things that I could talk about. I could come on this thing 3-4 times a day. I have so many subjects and topics and whatnot in my head, but it only really matters now for me to come up when I'm ready to really deliver. And something like this, because I wanted to talk about the local oversight committee, because I said if I am selected for the committee, the first thing that I want to do is to get them to stop saying reparations. I want them to stop saying reparations for the local end. It's confusing to people, and it'll be confusing to American freedmen as well as people who might not even oppose it, but not know about it. And I don't want someone thinking like, oh my God, my taxes are going to go up and everything because they're giving all these Black people reparations. The county cannot give us reparations. The state of Michigan cannot give us reparations. And that needs to be made clear. A lot of people just aren't willing to speak about it. And I am. So, you know, it's an interesting subject to me because it's a necessary subject. If it wasn't necessary, it probably wouldn't even interest me. It probably wouldn't even interest me. But yes, we have a lot of work to do with the people that have done a little something out here. You know, I salute anybody that's done well financially and they live above the grade. I get that. And then you have your people like, you know, progressives who, you know, like your Bernie Sanders types. There's a bunch of people who followed Bernie Sanders. And they always wondered why I didn't rock with Bernie Sanders, because they felt like because he was so progressive and they saw my progressiveness, they thought we'd line up. And I said, Bernie Sanders is against reparations. They're like, no, he's not. I'm like, yes, he is. And no, he's not. I'm like, yes, he is. And once they realized that Bernie Sanders was against reparations, they stopped asking me why I wasn't rocking with Bernie Sanders. They stopped asking. And he ain't done nothing spectacular in his life, I bet. I'd love to know what his profession is and what his daddy's profession was. Because truthfully, they lived off of that name. That generational wealth was built off of that name. And it was built off the backs of enslaved individuals. So what did they have to do? Even if they became captains of industry, how did they get there? Did they do something spectacular, or was it because they were left a pile of money to do things, you know? But for the most part, I look at a lot of these people, they're just shiftless, did nothing except lived off of their name. James DeWolf, a northern slave trader. Wow. Okay. So he was in the North. Got it. He's about to celebrate a birthday. Well, I'm not going to say happy birthday to you, James. Hopefully you're still rotting respectfully in whatever grave you're in. And you are obviously nothing but skeletal bones at this point, and hopefully those are being ran through by rats and rodents and whatnot. That's crazy. Yeah, but these people, they lived off of the inheritance that they got, and part of that inheritance came after when they received reparations for when slavery was abolished. They paid enslavers for losing their cargo. And we were the cargo. But how do you not pay the people who were the cargo, but you pay the people who own the cargo? Once again, that's why reparations is needed. The logic just wasn't there. And I know that people are going to say, well, things are so much different. Things are so much better. You know how much better they can get? They can get better when you repair the people that you broke. When you repair something, you are fixing what you broke. And that's what reparations is. They broke every opportunity for us to play in this system of America at every given point. And although there were policy and legislations put forth hundreds of years later, look at where we still are. There are people that are coming into this country today that are instantly going to start to live better than people whose people have been on this soil for over 300 years. How is that so? In all fairness, the man seemed like he wants to do better. He is on an apology tour of sorts, going to colleges and other places. The DMV Freedman might invite him to talk. That'd be beautiful. I'd love to be in that chat room. I got to talk to Sister Roz about that. That'd be beautiful. I want to keep in tune with anybody that's talking about this and support anybody that's speaking about this, because soon enough, it's going to start to work its way back to the mass media circles. And we'll start to see it on your CNNs, your MSNBCs and Foxes and all that stuff. And we've got to be more prepared as a collective to talk about it within our circles. That's why I said, are we afraid to talk about this to white folks? Because the white folks, they don't really want to take this conversation up as an initial, but they'll be a part of it. But I think they'll be a part of it if they feel like they're not going to get ran in it. And I always love to run into those people that say, well, what about this? You know, you got civil rights. Why did we need civil rights? Why did we need a civil rights movement? Don't you understand that things got so bad in this country that there had to be a Civil Rights Act? There had to be a Voters' Right Act. When they said we were free in 1863 to 1865, whatever dates you want to use, how come we just didn't get the same status as Dwights? Why couldn't we get the same status as Dwights? I don't think anybody can really answer that, truthfully, because it makes no sense. If you tell me I'm free I should be free, and I should have everything that you have. I'm not saying that I want to live like the whites. I want to live like the blacks, but I need all that shit too. I need what y'all got, and I'll make my own from here. Because it proved that even after 246 years, we all know this, Black Americans were able to go off into their specific spots throughout the country and build communities, fruitful communities, and do ridiculous things with them. Just 20 years out of slavery. And by the time it got to be 50, 60 years out of slavery, you had some ridiculously established communities around this country that were all American freedmen. All American freedmen. And that wasn't good enough to let us build off of that and keep building policy and legislation where we could actually make up some ground that we had lost over the 246 years. No, all the inventions that we had that we didn't get patents on, we didn't build that generational wealth by getting residual earnings on. They could have started to do those types of things back in the early 1900s, making right on those wrongs. Why didn't they? Because they didn't want us to sustain. They didn't want us to sustain. If we would sustain, maintain a certain level of living, they knew we were going to grow. And that's why it worked with us being in our own little coves, being in our own little coves throughout this country, and block to block to block to block, having it all owned by descendants of enslaved people, American freedmen. The patronization being all us. They weren't allowing us to go to their stuff. So we only went to our stuff. And we were doing what we needed to do. We had Black doctors. We had Black lawyers. We had our own post offices in our community, Black dentists. We were doing what we needed to do by sustaining in our own communities. And then when white rage got the best of them because they saw that we weren't spending dollars in their communities on their stuff, then the integration laws started to come into play. But not only did the integration laws come into play, because integration didn't really affect us until they started to burn us out, run us out, pave us out of our own communities, to where we didn't have that ability to sustain, to where when we did have to go trade, we had to go to the other side that didn't allow us to trade there before. So you've now taken our way of living. You've now killed our lifestyle. Now we've got to make our means through what you do, so only you benefit from it. You only benefit from it financially. We get the resources, from you, but we don't get the generational wealth because we're not turning over in our own communities. I'm not sure why that's a hard discussion for people to have, but I believe that Black Americans in general are afraid to talk about reparations around the whites. So it's just what I know. And I have no problem with saying that. I'm even going to put that, let's put it in the chat. Here's the link in the chat. Anybody that wants to come up at any point, feel free to hit that link. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to always speak this way. And that's unafraid, unapologetic. I have no problem with having this discussion no matter who you are, because I know that it's just, I know that it's needed, but ain't no point in me just sitting around talking to a whole bunch of Black folks about this, because whether they're all in agreement or not, they're not the ones who really need to hear it. The people on the other side of the streets are the ones who need to hear it. It's just a matter of whether we can get them to the point of understanding how viable it is. So it is what it is. And I'll throw that link up, or if anybody, comes in and they want the link, you know, I'll definitely refresh it and put a new one in there. But I want to know, this is something that I want to know. I just want to break stride real quick. Is this statement true? I need to know. Is this statement true? And my slides went off center today, and I don't know what that's about. But can anybody tell me, can anybody verify if this statement is true? It's from Margaret Sanger, dead race soldier who started Planned Parenthood. Colored people's genes are too strong. We must find ways to exterminate and confuse them, or we are doomed. Is that statement true? I mean, I don't know for a fact if it's true or not, but I was like, damn, if she said that, that's crazy to me. Colored people, genes are too strong. We must find ways to exterminate and confuse them so that we stay in power, or we are doomed. The English is really bad. The grammar is bad on this. I don't know what happened here, because it should be colored people, right? If they're going to say colored, I don't prefer colored, but they're going to say colored. And so we must find ways to exterminate and confuse them so that we stay in power, or we are doomed. It should be doomed. So I'm not sure exactly why. Like, they didn't use ED at the top and they didn't use ED at the bottom. Like the E and the D are stuck, you know, I can't use them, but I see E's and D's in here. You know, it's a really weird situation why they couldn't give us colored. We were just colored people. And they said they are doomed, not doomed. But I want to know if that statement is really a true statement. Did she really say that? I mean, that's just hate. That is just venomous hate. I mean, and since we're on hate, we might as well just go from one thing to the next. I guess the Academy Awards went back to normal last night. They done giving y'all Negroes awards. Y'all thought y'all was y'all see Angela walk away with that Wakanda award. No.
In my mind.
It was just in your mind. I knew she wasn't going to win that award, right? I know she wasn't going to win that award. Black Panther got too much pub the first time around, and they were not going to let her win that award. I don't think they were specifically snubbing Angela as they've done before, but Black Panther wasn't up for a whole bunch of other awards. That was pretty much the top award for the movie, and I knew that they weren't going to give her that. I knew they weren't going to give her that, especially with that other goofy movie that ended up winning everything. I didn't even know that movie existed. And I've seen a lot of movies that Jamie Lee Curtis has been, but I had no idea that movie was even produced. What'd you say, Faye Tax? I've heard Black proponents of outlawing abortion using Sanger as a reason. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Which one was a great movie? Which one was a great movie? So last night, Michelle Yeoh, I don't know her name because I've never seen anything she done. Oh, okay. So it was a great movie. Okay. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Okay. So maybe I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I didn't see Wakanda, but I'll check that out. They say Wakanda had too many agenda situations going on in it, and I don't want to see any more agenda-riddled material. I've seen enough in my day. The commercials are all got agenda in them. Everything's agenda, agenda, agenda. I don't need it. I'm look, just give me some good old-fashioned TV, and I'm straight. Well, everybody knows I'm straight. But anyway, Michelle Yeoh disses Don Lemon during her 2023 Oscar speech for Best Actress. So I guess what she said was, don't let anybody tell you that you're past your prime, because she's 60. She's 60. She's 60 years old, and she won her Oscar. And she threw that out there. So they said that she was dissing Don Lemon. I don't know if she actually said anything about Don Lemon in her speech because I didn't watch the Oscars. But they said she dissed him by saying this because Don Lemon had just said women in their 20s and 30s and maybe 40s are in their prime. But then after that, I think he was basically saying they had hit the wall. And I didn't see the actual quote or the video of it, but they was riding Don about that. They was riding Don about that. Uh-oh. See, I can't see that. Hold on one second. Let me see. See if I can get to it on this device here. In my mind. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, yeah. Can I put it in there? I mean, it allows me to put the... I know Facebook allows it. Or YouTube might not. YouTube's so weird. They so weird with their stuff. Yeah, so it didn't take. Don't sweat it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, but I didn't know what that was about. The whole Michelle Yeoh thing. I mean, I know Don was going to catch some flack from, women that were older. Folks that had, women that had hit the wall and felt like, he was just, I think Don was talking specifically about somebody from what I heard. I don't think he was saying all women, but he threw them numbers out there and then everybody above them numbers got in their feelings. So it is what it is. What it is, what it is. So that's what that's about. Uh-oh. Brother Tony done got in here.
Man, I'm sitting backstage waiting on you to pay attention to this.
I've been doing some things, man. I've been doing some things.
I know. How you doing, bro? How you been, man?
Doing well. Can everybody hear Tony? I mean, there's only two people.
My audio?
Spades game now.
My audio sound to you? Let me know.
I just want to make sure that people can hear you, because I got some questions for you. Come
on.
You still in Georgia, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let's just go ahead and we can get rid of Don and Michelle Yeoh. We can come on up. Hopefully your sound is good because it says you're not muted anymore. Yep, your mic's good. So, brother, here's the thing. Y'all got Raphael Warnock down there. Mm-hmm. And what's the other guy's name? Is it Ocio?
I didn't watch a lot of the politics recently because it started getting ridiculous.
I got
the
you.
Raphael Warnock and the Stacey Abrams. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Those are like the two front-running black politicians we got, in my opinion.
Right. Okay. But they're anti-abortionist. I mean, anti-reparationist.
Raphael Warnock did a statement on reparations. I'm going to talk to you about that too. He said his thing about reparations was he wants to pay it in the form of equity. I had to think about what he said because it made sense and I had to realize how much we were making an emphasis on money. And we need to realize that there's more than money that should come to us in the form of reparations.
Okay.
We've had these conversations more than once.
Absolutely.
Equity is actually absolutely accurate statement that I don't think a lot of us think deep enough into. We just want the cash. Wrong. If we get the cash, we spend it right back to the people who took it away from us in the first damn place. So
those are ignorant. Those are ignorant folks, though. Generally, Tony, people that just say
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But I was guilty of it too. I was guilty. I wanted my 150 million. I ain't gonna lie. You talk about you gonna give me 150 million. I'm gonna do what I want to do afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I already know I'm gonna pay taxes. I already know some of the economic laws. Umar Johnson also did I saw him speaking on reparations and how we wanted in cash. We're crazy, just like you said, and we're supposed to get another form. I wish I could find it because I'm going to ask you about that last summer. I just ain't caught up with you. But Stacey Abrams, if she ain't running for governor, she's supposed to be running for president. And you know how they went after her in the last election.
Mm-hmm.
They went after her hard. Mm-hmm. Raphael Warnock should be the governor. Nobody likes Herschel. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not talking about just black folks. Herschel looked ridiculous to so many people. You know what I mean?
I believe he was just an obstruction. I don't think that anybody was really seriously thinking that it was going to be competitive, but that just went to show you how bad Warnock is for Black Americans, because there's no reason why Warnock doesn't walk away from Herschel Walker. But that many, I mean, so enough people sat out, because we already know these races are not the whole population.
Facts.
So there was enough people that sat out to where if they had voted, they of course weren't going to vote for Herschel, but they didn't like Warnock enough to vote for him.
Right. And there were people against Warnock. There was a couple things coming out against him. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I kind of stay out of some of the political game. I got so tired from the Trump-Biden election. I kind of let politics alone for about a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
I had to, because my brain was getting fried.
Sure.
With everything they was trying to throw at us to divert, to make you not focus on anything. The biggest focus we got to have is who the hell are we going to put in office next? That's the question that needs to be answered. And we need to look at who they got running, because they are controlling the candidates. Well, some of the candidates that were viable in the eyes of the people were taken out of the election in favor of the bigger agenda, if you will.
Sure. Sure. Do you think though that if Biden does run, well, walk like slowly, and you know, if he does decide to, I mean, I have a hard time saying he runs, because the boy done failed about 5 times during his tenure. So I don't want to put that on Joe, have him run. But do you think that if he does, who else out there it can take him out in a primary?
I don't know of another Democrat that'll take him out right now. I don't care whether they like Biden or not. Somebody's got to tell me another Democrat that'll take his position that you trust.
And see, I don't trust any of them to speak on our agenda, but I don't trust any of them to really do anything different than what Joe's doing. The Democratic playbook is very slim. That's their biggest problem here. The Democratic playbook is very slim. It's outdated. Thank you, Sister Yvette. Appreciate you coming back. But the Republican playbook is non-existent. They just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks.
No, the Republican playbook is conservative to me. It's very conservative to me.
It's very conservative. But it's not a direct playbook. They don't get. You understand that Republicans don't get really hemmed in on certain policies the way Democrats do.
You know why? And I look at it this way: Republicans are going to preserve what's in place. Democrats are going to try to make the change. That's it.
Do you think the Republicans are going to stay with what's in place if it's not profitable, though? Because they're about the money.
They about making changes to how the money's being dispersed, in my opinion. Hold on one second. I'm about to be rude.
I got you.
Can I get a steak chalupa?
Oh, hell no. He getting muted. He up here ordering at the border. Taco Bell ain't gave me no money. Taco Bell ain't gave me no. We got you muted. Just let me know when you got your burrito supremes. He up there. Taco Bell, they owe me some money. So
put me on mute. For those of you that don't know, I'm just tripping out with this dude. I don't
No.
mean to be rude. I understand. Yeah, everybody.
No, they don't know our history. They don't know our
Listen,
history.
Crown Royal Peach owe me money. Did you see the big bottle I got?
And I'm gonna bring my peach down here because my peach is upstairs. I'm gonna bring my peach down here. I got a bottle upstairs.
You didn't see my post on Instagram. I got the half
Yeah,
gallon.
I saw it. I loved it.
I loved it. Yeah, I've been waiting all you jokers to find me a half gallon for a year. I had to put it up my damn stuff.
Yeah, they don't have the half
don't.
gallons around here.
They just came out about 2-3 weeks ago. They don't. The Democrats. Nobody trusts the Democrats right now. Nobody. And Republicans, we haven't been trusting them, regardless of anything else that's going on. So the two primary candidates, I think, are going to be shoo-ins as nominees for each respective political party. Until we can find somebody, or somebody can show us somebody better than what we got in place. Biden's biggest defense is everybody in D.C. is willing to work for him. Period. End of story. They're willing to work with him with no problem.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yes.
And it's because he is a centrist, borderline conservative, but he just plays the Democratic part. Biden
knows
DC.
He knows DC.
He absolutely knows DC.
Yes.
So and here's the thing. Somebody that gets in there is going to have to be able to know DC. Who else besides Biden? And I don't want no old hairs. I don't want to hear Hillary. I don't want to hear Bernie. We've got to move forward. We don't need a president here. Can we get a president in their 60s?
How about in their 50s?
Well, we had one in their 50s, and he had skin color like ours.
Yeah.
And he didn't do what he was supposed to do when he got in there. He
did
not.
Get in office, they changed the position up. They changed up what you're going to do.
Well, you know what he could have did? He could have did for the people who got him elected, just like Joe Biden should be doing for the people who got him elected. On election night, Joe Biden said, "My campaign was on the map." Oh, let him get his chalupas. He said, Joe Biden said, "My campaign was on the map, and it was the African American." He said, African American community that held me together and put me in the office. And you had my back, I'll have yours. Since Joe Biden said that, Joe Biden has walked away from us. He has not established policy. Oh, yes, he's absolutely walked away from us. And see, I'm not just talking about the George Floyd policing bill.
I pulled over for this. Let's do this. I pulled over for this.
I'm not talking about. Go ahead. Here, if you're gonna eat, put yourself on mute. We don't need to hear you smacking. But I know if you're on your break, do your thing. But here's my spiel on Joe Biden. You can feel free to interject at any point. So I felt that Joe Biden not only should have been indebted to Black America, but he should have initiated policy specifically for Black America, just like he initiated for Latinos, Asians, gay folks, all other type of ethnicity. They've done more for the Native Americans since he's been in office, but he has turned his back essentially on the people who put him in office. We vote for Democrats at an 85 to 90% clip, and Joe Biden had about 85 million votes. Now, if we voting at an 85 to 90% clip with 40 million Black folks, let's say 85. I'm gonna cut it to 75. But we get 75% of Black folks, that's 30 million people. You take 30 million people off of Joe Biden's ticket, and that puts him at 55 million, and that puts Donald Trump at 75 million, and he's up there still talking about bigly. He up there still talking about, Blacks for Trump. That's my Negro. But see, what happened was Joe got us just like every other Democrat gets us. He got us at 85 to 90%. And I just gave you a 75%, and that's 30 million people. We can sway a vote like a motherfucker. We can sway a vote like a stripper. We can swing it back and forth. 30 million people, dog. 30 million plus. We can do
BMF style.
BMS, dog. We can take it from Detroit to ATL. And hopefully we don't go to the federal penitentiary, but we take it from Detroit to ATL, and we can do that with an election. But that's why I'm here today talking about Black Americans being afraid to talk to DWIGHT'S about reparations, because we know we can do what we can do if we get on code. But what if, let's just say, Okay, so that's 55 million non-Black Americans. So that's speckled. That's white people, that's Asian people, that's Arabic people, that's Indian people, that's Native American people, that's Latino people to make up that 55 million. You telling me with all them different ethnicities, they only came up with 55 million folks, but we pulling in 30 to 35 million plus just with one ethnicity, with one political classification, American freedmen. So why aren't we going to the other side saying, look, if y'all want to just remain in office, because I don't believe Black people should even be blue or red. We need to be our own political class anyway, because we have our own politics. There are things that affect us that don't affect anybody else on this soil.
Agreed.
So I'm not sure why we hang our hats on the blue and why we would hang our hats on the red. We need to have our own party, and it don't necessarily have to be Black. I'm not saying it has to be Black, but what I'm saying, we literally should have our own political party simply because, and not saying that it will be exclusive to just us, but we should be voting as a collective. And if we vote as a collective, we can swing any vote. Now, like here, our primaries, you got to vote straight ticket. So that takes out a lot of good candidates, because I'm not a straight ticket voter no more. I'm definitely nonpartisan. I like a Republican over here, and I like a Democrat over here, because I like the way they're campaigning. I like what they stand for. I don't like just because of their political party. But in Michigan, is it that way? And Georgia, to where your primary, you got to vote either all Republican or all Democrat, or is it open up?
Open.
Okay, so
you can choose your ticket. I always choose the open ticket.
Okay.
I don't choose a straight party.
Okay, and then that means you can go back and forth on your ballot. You go open. See, they don't give us that opportunity here. And a lot of people don't even realize that is hamstringing you, because there might be some, you might have some Republicans or some independents in your area, because we know our local elections, we don't need the millions of votes, obviously, that the presidential election. I mean, you know, there's some elections out here, you can get 1,500 people, you can win. You get 2,500 people, you in office. That's nothing.
Yeah, you gotta hold on. I dropped a piece of a damn diced tomato on the table.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and mute him. we're gonna go ahead and mute him. He dropping food on the stream. I'm like, what's wrong with him?
The damn diced tomato fell between the seat, man. I'm done eating shit.
Oh my God, he dropping food on the stream. So my thing is, I'm looking at not so much being at a party. Not so much being in a party, but being as a collective, working by committee. We're not always going to agree on everything. That's not what a committee even needs to do. But we have to be at least of the same ideology. And I don't think we're of the same ideology. Out there laughing at his tone.
Like
I said, they don't know our relationship. They don't know this ain't even got greasy.
Let me tell y'all something, man. Yeah, let me tell y'all something. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. I'm actually behaving for this man on his broadcast. You should have seen us a year and a half ago. Don't trip yet. We still on topic. We ain't switched topics yet.
Yeah, we still on topic.
Still on topic.
What is it about you think the average Black guy, you know, let's put the names up there. Daryl, that's a brother. Daryl's the brother. Mm-hmm. And Carl with a K. You know, Carl with a C is generally Black, and Carl with a K is a white guy. So let's go Carl with a K. Daryl and Carl go out.
Clan, that's why.
he said that, y'all. Views of Tony D are not necessarily the views of freedom media. But he's the but you know what? I kind of agree with that one.
It's not necessarily him, but he's the influence.
Ku Klux Carl. So Daryl and Carl go out.
That was a joke for the record. That was a joke, since y'all like making Black jokes on Black people all the damn time. Get over it. Keep going, bro.
I'm going to use that one, too. I know Carl.
I know.
So if Daryl and Carl go out after work, right? Daryl and Carl go out after work. Why is it difficult for Daryl to bring up reparations to Carl? They buddies, they boys. Why wouldn't Daryl bring up reparations to Carl? Is he in fear of losing Carl as a friend or Carl's opposition? Why doesn't Daryl talk about reparations to Carl?
He can't relate.
He doesn't feel like Carl can relate?
No, yeah. Carl's a white dude, correct?
Correct. Carl is a white guy, because I got a rebuttal for that, because I want you to say your answer in full, and then I'm gonna come back with that response. Go ahead, Carl.
If you can't talk reparations with anybody, they can't relate.
Okay.
Period. They can't relate. They don't understand where we're coming from, and I find that to be an aspect of ignorance, because we were all taught slavery in our school age years.
Well, here's
every
the
last
thing.
one of us were.
Here's the thing. We may have been taught it. We may have been taught it in school. You're right. We may have been taught it in school.
Oh, we got a problem here?
Okay. Sorry about that.
We got a problem here?
I hit it, and it was in the middle. Okay. So here's the thing.
Them shits is funny as hell too. I heard you earlier.
Appreciate you. I like my drops. I like my drops.
Right.
It puts me back in my old broadcasting realm of having drops. So here's the thing. Carl knows about Carl knows about slavery. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Carl knows that we were enslaved. But does Carl know to the degree? Okay, wait a minute. I didn't throw this one thing in here. I didn't throw this in here. The demographic of Carl and Daryl. Carl and Daryl are 40. Carl and Daryl are 40.
That don't matter.
Okay. So you're still saying the same thing. They can't relate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on 40 years old, that means that Carl graduated from high school 22 years ago. We are in 23, so he graduated in 2021. I call bullshit. I call bullshit because in the 21st century, we are well into the know that people not only know that slavery existed, they know the societal harms of what slavery and post-slavery created. So that they're 40. Because if they're 40, Carl definitely knows. Now, if they 50, oh yeah. Because here's the other thing. Daryl and Carl work together. They're on the same socioeconomic scale. So how did Carl grow up? Did Carl grow up in an affluent household, or did Carl grow up in subsidized housing with Daryl? Because if Carl grew up in subsidized housing with Daryl, Carl knows. Carl knows about discrimination. He knows about impoverished situations. So he got put in some conversations back in the day that maybe the affluent kid that's the same age might not know. But I have to call bullshit, because if Carl is 40, he definitely knows about some systemic and social harms in his local area and across this country. Now,
but like 50, I said, he can't relate. He can't relate. He knows about it, but he can't relate. Anybody you
ain't got to have the whelps on your back to relate, though, Tony.
No, you don't. But anybody who has any discomforts about reparations are probably benefiting off of it.
Okay. Sister Fatex just talked about DeWolf. DeWolf is the biggest family, one of the biggest slavers of all time, right? The son of the DeWolfs, or he's probably the grandson or great-grandson, is now on a Ivy League and PWI tour where he's going around talking about slavery and reparations and things like that. He has benefited off of enslavement, right? He married to a black woman. His great-grandparents were slavers, but he still went out and got him some chocolate and put a ring on it. Right? Hey, you trying to tell me he don't relate? Trying to tell me he can't relate? Can he relate? Because his family beat us. They beat us and they raped us and they killed us. They just didn't work us and send us off, with good tidings. They were brutal. The DeWolf family was brutal.
I done finished my chalupa now. Let's go ahead and do this.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay, now we back to business. We did you have dessert? Did you get you some cinnamon twist? You good?
No, I'm actually mad. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell them no sour cream. But fucking around with you, losing my
you got your lactate pills? You ain't lactose intolerant. Okay.
No, that ain't it. I just don't like sour cream.
I don't want you Putin on the screen. I got you.
If I do, you won't hear it because I'll drive.
Turn your fan on. Turn your fan on. Let's stay right with it.
AC's already on, damn it. The AC's already on. All I gotta do is crack a window.
Say Sister Fatex said, Dwights understand more than you know. They just used to practicing anti-blackness and don't want us to have anything. What's your response on that, Tone?
I agree.
Okay, she got something else here. Hold on a second.
I can't lie to her though. And I've had this conversation, and this is what pisses people off.
Oh my goodness. DeWolf grew up in South Carolina. So he can relate. whether his family was enslavers or not, and they were one of the worst, one of the biggest families, and one of the most brutal. He can relate. If his name is Carl DeWolf, it ain't Carl, but if his name was Carl DeWolf, that Carl right there can relate.
Does he want to keep practicing the racism and the slavery that he grew up in?
He says he thinks there's need for change. He just doesn't know. He's kind of in the middle of it because he was
born and raised in it. Yeah, he was born and raised in it. Exactly.
He knows how much he benefited from it. He knows how much they stole from us. And calculations get out here, dog. Because I got a stream coming up, and I might need a co-host on this if you want to ride with me on this.
What day is it on?
I ain't even put it together yet. You know I fly off the handle.
But I know. I'll be free either Tuesday or Thursday evening. I can be free.
Okay. Here's the thing. We might have to talk about doing it tomorrow because I've already got it together. And I'm just going to give you just throw this out here. Definitely owes us, right? The U.S. government. I don't. What a big funeral director at? Because I know he says Great Britain, but I ain't seen him since Haps. What a big funeral Britain.
Oh, you talking about Ed? I haven't seen Ed. Ed's he's on the West Coast.
Okay, so we need to get Ed on maybe. But anyway, we ain't gonna be talking about Great Britain. We're gonna be talking about the United States. But the United States owes us reparations, right? But besides the United States government that owes us reparations, people who also benefited directly off of slavery owe us reparative justice too. And it can come in the form of what we were worth at the ending of slavery. Times inflation. Inflation. The reason I'm throwing this up here, I did a stream with a brother, and I call him a brother because Gabe's a brother. Gabe's an Italian American, but he's still a brother because he's freedman first on his politics. Right. And I did a stream with Gabe, and he was running for alderman in Chicago. And we talked about Norfolk Southern. The train. They've been having a time over here on the East Coast. Trains running off the road in the Midwest. Right?
Midwest. Yeah, I saw that.
They've been derailing and all kind of stuff. So I just used them as the guinea pig that night. But Norfolk Southern was one of the railroads that benefited directly off of slavery, right? And you know why? Because they worked us for free. Well, it was the lowest paying job building the train.
Railroad track. Yeah, and doing the railroad track, laying the railroad track across the whole damn country, the oldest industry in the country.
But here's the thing. Not only that, when the railroads got up and going, do you know who they used to stop the train? Us. We were the brakemen. We were the brakemen. We were the people who actually physically had to stop the train. Now, what kind of pressure are you putting on somebody to say, look, nigga, I need you to stop car 3. Look, nigga, I need you to stop car 4, because you got to stop all the cars, or that's you have a derailment. You know, you got to have. So these people were looked at as not only cargo, but they were tools for the train. So with that being said, Norfolk Southern, along with all of these other railroads that were around then, owe us money. And I came up with the math. I did the math. And I did it based on Chicago, just in his ward, bro. Just in his ward.
Go ahead.
It would come across as $12,000 per African American, American freedmen, as I know them. $12,000 for 54 years.
So $12,000 a year for 54 years?
Yeah, per American freedman. Now, say you got a house of 5, that's $60,000 coming into the house every year. Every year for 54 years. It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money because in his ward it was like $4 to $5 million, right?
Right.
That's each railroad paying at least around that sum or better, depending on how they used us. But not only was it them, but it was the banking industry. It was the insurance agencies. It was clothiers, all types of people.
Wells Fargo, you talking
absolutely.
JP Morgan Chase, you talking
Wachovia, all of them.
Everybody. Wachovia was around back then. Wells Fargo is the oldest bank, I believe.
Wachovia, I believe Wachovia turned into Wells Fargo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Wells Fargo bought Wachovia out, but Wells Fargo's been around longer than them.
Absolutely. So, but what I'm saying is I've got all these companies and I've got their breakdowns of what they did to us during slavery. So to bring this stream together, to have somebody to bounce off of would be a good thing, and we can kind of talk about it. But this is where I'm coming into play today about Black Americans afraid to talk about reparations. What if you got Daryl and Carl? They both work at J.P. Morgan Chase. You think Daryl gonna talk about how J.P. Morgan Chase did us during slavery?
I don't think neither one of them gonna talk about it because they don't lose their job.
There you go. There you go. So there are certain people.
Job with them. I ain't talking about shit. I might cut you off.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave them alone because I think I owe them about $54.
And I'm
I close that account in the negative, and I don't need them coming after me. I got my credit score. I got my credit right now. I don't need them coming back at me. Got my credit right.
Man, I'm trying to stay on topic because I'm about to ask you about Silicon Valley Bank. I never heard of it answer before last week.
It wasn't for you to hear about it, Negro.
You're right.
Silicon Valley Bank was for DWIGHT'S.
Yeah,
and a few. It might have had a few people. It might have had some colored people money in it, but it didn't have no American freedmen money in it like that.
We wasn't going industry bank, from my understanding.
We wasn't going in there cashing our check, right? Wasn't nobody going in there cashing $738.43 on a Friday,
right?
And saying, "Can I get that back in 20s?"
Right.
That was a bank. That was a direct deposit bank. That was a corporate bank. That was a big time bank. And the way you know it was a big time bank was how fast they worked to bail them out.
They're not gonna bail them out though. The Secretary of Treasury, whoever, what's the name?
Oh no, they guaranteed all the deposits and everything.
They said the government's not gonna bail them out.
The federal government is not going to bail them out, but the federal government is obligated for that FDIC money, which is up to $250,000.
Which ain't no money to the people that's in trouble.
But you got to understand, it's only been a couple of days. So if there was somebody that had $1 million deposit, okay, are they going to lose $750,000? No, they'll get that money back. But they're just basically saying the federal government was not going to bail it out the way Obama bailed the banks out. The way the Democratic Party bailed the banks out. That's what they're saying. They're not going to do a universal bailout, but what they are going to do, they'll make sure people are whole. Man, that part of the country runs so much of American corporate industry. They know they can't mess that up.
And they know they've been laying people off left and right.
Yeah.
Right before the holidays, they were laying people off left and damn right. There's a couple people we used to hang out with on that other platform.
Right.
I know one that's trying to find something else because she told me when she got laid off, and I'm like, what? And she damn near got to move to the East Coast. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out here. If you are in the tech, if you're in the tech industry, I'm going to need you to look out for your job and check your accounts. I want you to get all your affairs in order to clear all your debt right now and start checking your emergency money motherfucking SAP. Okay, so tell me this. You got off into that crypto stuff a little bit, didn't you? I started off on it. Yes, I did. I did start off on it, yes. Okay, tell me where the crypto industry is. Did it crash? I mean, you got Shaq getting lambasted. Now it's Paul Pierce. You got all these entertainers. All of those FTX boys are in trouble. Yes, because that was a Bitcoin firm, and they were all running off of Bitcoin. And when I talked about this before, that SEC case is what's messing everybody up, in my opinion. They haven't finalized it yet. We sat down the rest of that year waiting for them to get that case over with, and it should have been done that summer. Okay. It will officially be, what's this, March? In 3 months, it would have been 2 years. We've been waiting on that case to be finalized. Wow. 2 years. 2 years. I still got a few $1,000s sitting over that I can't touch. They like this with y'all. They like private jets flying over you. You see the private jets flying over you. They just playing with y'all money, dog. They just play. The money didn't disappear, Tone. We know this. Somebody got the money. Disappear, but you can't access the money. Let's be clear. Some people dump their whole life savings into that market. Absolutely. For the ROI. The ROI was great. The ROI had everybody. Hell, it had me. Wow. The ROI was great. Yes, it was great. And that was the way they ran it. You can put money here. They can't tax it. They can't touch it. It's decentralized. 8 months later, what happened to everybody's monkey asses? Oh, shit. And then, what happened? You think so, Sister Fate, is it? Fate Tax, yep. Fate Tax, excuse me. My apologies. I don't know about that unless they were going through that bank primarily. And I will say, I would have thought Bank of America would have went down for that issue over Silicon Valley, because Bank of America was in the news for one of those specific crypto coins more than anything. So if SVB went down for it, that tells me, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong, Bitcoin was running through them.
Well, I believe it. I definitely believe it. Because wouldn't these guys, Sister Fate,
and I got my eyes on the road, so please forgive me, man. I didn't mean to be wrong.
You're good. Oh, you know what? I've been calling her Fate. Do you know why I've been calling her Fate? Because you got the X's on the end of her name.
Yeah, you've been saying
Sister Fate. I've been
looking at the screen, you don't be blinking.
And she's been sitting up here letting me say Fate text. She's been sitting up here letting me say Fate text.
It's your fault. She
ain't even said that. So.
Don't blame her. You ain't read the screen.
Right. That's my fault that I didn't read the screen that way. When I see I just try to do the whole name. So, okay. Sorry about that, Sister Fate.
I'm thinking that Bitcoin might have been running through them harder if they spurn the crash.
Okay.
Bitcoin is still the biggest one. I'm rolling with Ethereum, XRP, and Tron more than anything. But everybody is doing transactions through Bitcoin. Now, I need people to understand this. All of these crypto firms, all of these crypto plans, all of these crypto groups are running transactions through Bitcoin. I don't think people understand when you run transactions through people, they make money off of you doing transactions.
Okay.
That is a part of, I got to find that damn video I told you I was going to find you last year. Remember I told you that video when that lady was talking about how money works, how any dollar you make from the U.S., no matter where you spend it, they can tax it?
Right.
All these people, some of these folks were claiming residences in other areas.
Oh, no.
They got caught up.
If they get
some of these folks are using VPNs. And I'm going to tell y'all this because this happened. Me and you talked about this too. I got to recap a few of the conversations we had due to how deep we went.
Hey, wasn't no boy who was always getting into it with everybody? Wasn't he deep into crypto too?
Wait a minute. She said she's a Sheila E. fan. I mean, it's a song by Sheila E. She's a huge Fish fan. I don't know that Sheila E. song.
And he's a jukebox, y'all. He's a jukebox. So
I'm hell. Sheila E. had Hold Me, The Bells of St. Mark, and The Glamorous Life. I don't know Sister Fate. Now I got to go dig it. She done put me back in the crate.
You got to go dig it.
Listen,
you got to go dig it. Somebody that caught you up on a song, boy. Now he hot.
Man, now I got to get back on my shit.
Yeah, that sour cream didn't gurgle his guts, but now he about to start gurgling. He's mad now.
And I don't like tomatoes either.
You done heated that sour cream up. Now you done heated that sour cream up.
What was I saying? A lot of people were doing crypto in different ways. Y'all gotta remember, that's one of the reasons why they started telling people to put PayPal and Cash App on their taxes. They was running crypto through those.
She giving you the ism. She giving you
Check
the ism.
Romance 60. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I still say Hold Me is one of the best slow jams ever. She should know what I'm talking about. She's a Sheila E. and Prince fan. She knows Hold Me by Sheila E. Lord have mercy. That song would double the population. The crypto market itself, bro, I left it alone. I left it quiet because of the SEC case specifically. Seriously.
Okay.
I really did. That's why you haven't heard much out of me.
Does that compromise you for what you do and who you do it for?
No, because I did that as a side, and what I was using the crypto market for was to build like another 401k or a TSP. So I can put my money that can grow it. It'll grow faster than what's happening, and I'll have more out of it than I did in my job. And I had plans on retiring in 2 years. I really did. So here we are 2 years later, and a bunch of people thought they were quitting. Asses are back at work, mad and miserable. Regretting their shit they talk to the coworkers and their bosses.
So here's the thing. I ain't seen nobody around here get rich, rolling around with Bentleys and all kinds of stuff off of crypto. How are people getting their money? Money? You saw people get real money off of this?
I have a homeboy. He has his own coin.
Which means what?
He has his own YouTube. He has his own cryptocurrency coin. You know, it only takes 20 minutes to make your own cryptocurrency coin.
What?
Yes. It only takes 20 minutes.
Okay, so it only takes 20 minutes. So why hasn't every hack out here made their own coin?
Because they probably did. That's why they got so many on the market. But it's a matter of which ones are worth value and then which ones are marketable.
What designates whether something's worth value or not?
Whether people want to use it, i.e. Bitcoin, i.e. Ethereum, i.e. XRP. XRP is going to be the main one.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What if they say the first step would be, as a beta program, to offer Black Americans reparations
We got one.
with
We got our own cryptocurrency coin. It's got horrible trading.
okay, well, you know, I'm not sure why that is, but let's say they offer us like, okay, because it should be like it'd be worth like a penny, like, you know, like a tenth of a penny. And then if you get a penny, if you get a penny of something, then you got like $100, or you know, something weird. Like, is it still like that? Like something you buy something and it'll be worth like 100th of a penny, and then you put 10. Okay, so let's just say that they give us all $10 million cryptocurrency, and it's worth, each one's worth a penny. So would that be $1 million, right?
Every cryptocurrency coin starts at 1 to the negative 16th of a penny. Every coin starts at 1 to the negative 16th.
1 to the negative 16th. So a 16th of a penny. Okay.
No, not a 16th. We're talking about 0.000000016. 1.
This is negative.
Backwards. Yes, negative.
Oh, negative. Okay. Okay. Yes. So it takes 16. It takes 16 pennies to get to zero.
I use Shiba Inu as an example. For anybody who's ever invested in crypto, you know how far down.
Well, I need to know the math. I need to know the math
yes.
because I'm gonna start. But it takes 16 pennies to get to 0 cents.
You put it at 1 penny to the negative 16th power, pretty much.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
That's how far.
Okay. Go.
Now, Shiba Inu is a coin that we got into a couple years ago. I bought some of that listening to somebody, and it hasn't hit a penny yet. Most people racked up on Shiba Inu. If Shiba Inu hits a penny, you will have millionaires in this country. If it hits a penny, you will have millionaires in this country.
Hold on a second.
Take your time, bro. Take your time.
I literally just want to do a calculation. So point.
And go ahead. And I apologize to everybody because this is what me and him start diverting. Oh no, she did not say love bazaar. See, I done pulled over. That's what we are. We all wanna love.
Oh, please, bazaar. God, don't get him started. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I got to do it this way. So we got a negative. So negative point.
I take that back. It's a penny to the negative 14th power.
Okay,
now
that's
that
good. That's fine.
That's my apologies.
Times 5,000.
Prince music is addictive. I actually did a marathon on that former platform we was on. I did 3 hours of Prince, and I wasn't even done. I actually got a headache doing all that damn music. Prince got some songs. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he does.
He got, and you know when I did my marathons, I would go. I did 3 hours of Prince.
So how much money? I just want to make sure. How much money would you have to put to get $1 million? To get $1 million at 14th, negative 14th.
Probably got to hit $1
of a penny. $1?
No, it probably got to hit. No, it probably got to hit a dime, and you'll be a millionaire.
Okay.
If I threw myself out there, say I had 6 million shares of Shiba Inu.
Right.
Back when I bought it, when it was 10 zeros down. If it hits a penny, I ain't got nothing to worry about. See, here's the kicker with crypto. By the time it hits a penny, you're too late.
Oh, so you need to be in when it's in its negative state.
Thank you. I'm not even being funny. I'm not being disrespectful. That's what a lot of people don't understand about crypto. Y'all see how like that coin ain't worth but 1 cent, 2 cents. These jokers got it when it was negative 16. You want an example? Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan had his own coin through XLM Stellar. Akon has his own coin.
Don't say nothing about that.
Stellar.
Don't say nothing about that motherfucker.
I got to, because he already got his money. Whether he made the city or not, he building it.
He ain't building no damn city.
I saw what he said. I know exactly what he's talking about.
He's trying to keep his hairline right. Is what he's trying to do.
He's
about to invest.
He did one album. He did one damn album.
You seen him though, right? You know he got a hairpiece.
Yeah, he left. He left. He left. Him and Ricky Bell from New Edition look like they got hair pieces. I know.
Yeah, I think he does too. I
feel bad for Ricky after that movie. I don't even want to talk about Ricky Bell no more after that movie. I felt bad for that brother.
Oh yeah. This middle of the road, Rick.
Man, that brother said, "You got two of them." You had two of them. Oh, dying.
So keeping us where we are, because Sister Fate put that in there. They don't want us to have anything. When we say globally, white America doesn't want us to be empowered. There's some individuals out there who obviously think different, but
yes,
collectively, us rising up to the even. Oh, Tony left for a second. Us rising up to the even status economically and being able to maneuver with policy and legislation and access to resources and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what America wants us to do.
I don't think that's true.
Who wants us to do it then? Because that's who we need to be talking to.
That's what we need. See, what we got to realize is they want us to have their education to do what they're doing.
Well, we don't have a choice but to utilize their education.
Yes, we do.
We go to HBCUs.
Well, I can talk about that next because Farrakhan killed HBCUs with what he said. He killed them.
Here's the thing. Just stay on their education. Just stay on what do you mean?
If we stay on their education, I don't think a lot of us realize we almost got to fight just as hard as them to get what they got. They weren't given a lot of things, and I'm seeing that in a couple of places. They are still fighting for what they have and to maintain what they have. The same way we're trying to fight what we want to get from them. They are fighting a higher power. When we talk now, let me go ahead because I'm at the house now. I can sit down.
Okay.
We discussed reparations. Very beginning, whole purpose of the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the story about 2 years ago? They had a meeting with all the countries on the planet about reparations. Every country showed up except for two. Guess which two?
Well, I would have to say America's one.
And the other one was Israel. There was an article that came on. I caught it because I get a news alert from Apple News. It popped up on my damn phone. Every country came together for the reparation meeting except for the United States and Israel. That should say a lot to a lot of people. We got a bigger problem than the United States, in my opinion.
Ain't Israel the Jewish people?
Israel is the Jewish people, but
the Jewish people have been repaired in America for a detriment that did not happen here.
Thank you. Everybody has received reparations, but African descendant Americans. Everybody. The Jews. Now the Asians are getting their money. What are we getting? Deion Sanders at Jackson State. What else are we getting?
Hold on one quick second. I think I either got a troll because he said a couple things here. Hold on one second. I want that right there. I'm not sure exactly what that's about. I think he's a troll. I don't like the nude picture on the thing, so I'm gonna let him.
White and Mexicans are. Everyone will use that word with the ER at the end in the future because everybody's saying it. I used to argue back and forth with my work husband about reparations. Most of them believe in bootstrapping. They believe the U.S. belongs to them. Yes. So when we demand reparations, they think we are taking money from them. Yes. Everyone in America is just cattle. I don't know if he's a troll or not, but you know what? What he's saying is being said by a lot of people. The United States has been sold. It's a corporation. Can we agree on that?
Of course. I mean, we know we are, we like the NDRE song. We are not our country. we are not our own. So we are not our skin.
That woman will sing your drawers off of you, boy. I got
so you've got I get that theory, And what she's saying is most of them think that if we just work hard, if we just go to school, if we just, do what we've been told to do, we can pull ourselves up. And it's such a lie that to this point, doing that, there's been calculations even on that said, look, white people can stand still, not do nothing for 200 years, and we still wouldn't catch up economically. But see, here's my problem with that. I'm
about to switch devices. Let me cut you off. I'm about to switch devices. So I'm about to jump off of this one to go to the other one just so you see it.
I'm not worried about banning you. You just got a weird profile picture. I can't put that up. Yeah, the whole Ukraine thing, when I see those posts where it says, Ukraine is getting our billions and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I take it to heart, but then I don't. But then I do, but then I don't. But I don't have no problem saying it. I don't care who I'm in a conversation with. I don't care who I'm around. I don't have no problem talking about it because I do believe that they are indeed getting some of our money. They just say it in my mind. I definitely believe that they are getting some of our stuff here, man. In my mind. What picture is that? Oh, okay. That's the picture. All right. I'm just in here looking at some different things, probably stuff that I shouldn't be looking at during the stream. But it is what it is. But we've been on point with this subject. Tony's probably going to come back. He's back. Okay, let me bring him up. So
I'm here. Yeah. My bad on that. Just wanted to get on
good.
The phone charge up a little bit.
Got your backdrop going. Okay, I like that. So we're talking about it here. Sister Fate, I'm sure, talks about it with whomever. But on the grand scheme of things, it is not talked about. Why can't we talk about something? We can talk about who we like from football. We can talk about who we like in basketball, baseball, unapologetically. We'll get into fights with people over who the best player is, over who the best this is. But we won't talk. We won't even have any type of dialogue about the repair of our people that is just. Why, Tone? You at home now. You can pour you a glass. Only reason I ain't poured a glass, I gotta get off in a second because I gotta go get my granddaughter. And I just came back 2 hours. I'm gonna give you. I just came back in the house. It's all good. I just came in the house to charge my phone up because I was out in the back. I said, "No, let me get back over here." No, I'm gonna put 2 hours in, and but this conversation, this needs to go through. But I want to know right now. I want to know right now why we can't have the same spirited conversations, spitting, foaming at the mouth. We ain't got to fight. I ain't inciting violence on nobody. But why can't we be that enthusiastic to have conversations about reparations with DWIGHT'S the same way we talk about sports and entertainment?
Because people feel like it's been shot down long enough. I had this conversation with Izzy. He was thinking, how come today's black folks don't want to fight as hard? I said, because the things we die for, we don't feel like the rewards are worth the sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
How much sacrifice have we put out there to get what we have? And what was the reward of it? We only got a minuscule. Yeah. Look at how long it took to get Juneteenth. And people use that as a small example. Yeah. I mean, and the bad part about Juneteenth, that wasn't even the actual day that it happened. That's just the day the last folks found out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. They got December of 1865 where some people were let go in Joe Biden's hometown. Oh, yes.
No.
Come on, man. Look, man, the very last people was where Biden was from. I'm telling you, you look it up on Google that like in December of 1865, there was some people released over there on the East Coast. Yeah.
It was Texas. The first place or the last place?
No, man. Hold on a second.
Juneteenth, they told the people in Texas. That was the last group.
I got you.
Smoke was good, bro. Smoke in here.
Smoke in here. Oh, what's going on, Smoke?
They don't believe in real
let's
investment. They
see.
see criminals not building on communities. They're not realizing the roots. You're right. They don't think they'll get enough of a return on our investment if we were to invest in it. They can get a return off of our labor, and that's it. That's true. They can get a return off of our labor. They don't think it's enough of a return on the investment deal. They don't think we're good for business.
You ready? You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
In the United, okay, so I'm gonna put my announcer voice on. Good evening.
You forgot your music. You forgot your music.
Good evening. Here we go. Here we go.
In my mind.
Okay. In the U.S., in the United States, before 1865, a slave state was a state in which slavery and the internal or domestic slave trade were legal, while a free state was one which they were prohibited. Between 1812 to 1850, it was considered. Oh, I'm reading too early. My fault. Hold on a second.
Last time I remember, 1865, Juneteenth was the day they told the last group of black folks in Texas that they were free. Other people did.
Go ahead. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
Here we
Go
go.
ahead.
The Union occupied the state of Tennessee, abolished slavery by vote on constitutional amendment that took place February 22nd, 1865. However, slavery legally persisted in Delaware, Kentucky, and to a very limited extent, New Jersey, until the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery throughout the United States December 18th, 1865, ending distinction between slave and free states. Now, the reason I said Joe Biden state, because he in Delaware.
Yes, he is.
And he in Delaware. And they said they did the documentation, and Kentucky and Jersey had stopped it before Delaware. So the very last state is where Joe Biden is. Technically, calendar-wise, December 18th was where there was the very last one, dog.
So Delaware was the last state to abolish slavery.
Yes, Delaware. And it was well after. See, Juneteenth is actually, I thought June 19th, 1860. Okay, so it says Union forces advanced from January 1st, 1863 to June 19th, 1865. But they make such a big deal about February 22nd, 1865. People think that that's the date. Then people think back in 1863 is the date. December 18th was when it was finally over. Because I'm sorry, the game is still going if there's still people playing.
The game is still going because slavery is legal if you're incarcerated.
Well, okay. So you're being technical.
No, seriously.
Well,
seriously, that
also goes with this. If slavery is legal for the incarcerated, why can't convicts that are in penitentiaries vote?
They're working on that.
Yeah, but I need you to work a little faster.
Well, the thing is, when you get convicted of a crime, you lose all of your privileges.
Yeah, but they still can make money off of you. So we're still a marketable commodity. We should still have the rights of an American citizen. How do we become not American citizens all of a sudden?
Committing a crime. That's what they got on paper, committing a crime. Once you're incarcerated.
Oh, shit, they better go pick Joe Biden's ass up. He done committed crime. Pick his son up on the way. When you're on your way to the White House, swing by and grab Hunter.
The views of this broadcast are not necessarily those of myself. That is not my full legal name.
Look, you a guest. You are not subjected to anything at this point unless you start feeding off your own stream. You better go and take the. Let me take this heat. That's why I had to keep the naked guy off the screen. That's why I had to keep the naked
y'all
guy.
After Hunter Biden and y'all after Joe Biden for what they did in the
I don't even know if Smoke's in play or not. But if this boy could come up here, this would be crazy because I got to end it in 9 minutes. I got to end it in 9 minutes, about 7 minutes.
You got to pick your granddaughter up. I'm going to respect that.
Yeah. But my thing is this, because I just wouldn't want to leave y'all just sitting here hanging. Because I'll get up out the street like old man Farrell. Old man Farrell, he'll be like, hold on a minute, and he'll go somewhere for like 5 minutes. And everybody's be sitting there chopping it up in the chat room. We just kind of know that's part of his broadcast. Like he literally be like, hold on a second. I don't know if he go to the bathroom. I don't know if he go make him a drink. I don't know what he go. Then he's the one that really incited me to stop eating meat. And he's a vegan. He's a vegan too. He's vegan. he is straight vegan. He don't mess around. And see, I'm still playing with it, but I'm serious enough to where I'm not eating flesh, but I'm not. I don't do all vegan cheese. I still got a little dairy up in my system, but there's no flesh. There's no meat, and I'm so much better. But I have a lot of friends who are also plant-based. But this brother really incited me. He really incited. No, I just threw the link out there, Smoke, just because the main thing was to me for you. If you could come up, you guys come up. But we're gonna do this more. Absolutely. I'm glad I got somebody in here that knows about Pharaoh Said That. Pharaoh Said That is the shit, dog. You got to check him out, Tone. Pharaoh Said That. He's out of Chicago. He's an OG 64, dog. He kicks it from a different perspective,
right.
You know. And I want to get to the level of when what he does and the way he says it. It's with such feeling, but then not giving a fuck at the same time. I got to get to that, you know, and I've worked on it, and changed the platform up a bit and did different things. But I like how he's brought his platform along, and it's just about being more true to it. You know,
Smoke was good. Alexis, how you doing, man?
I appreciate you, Alexis. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at getting these conversations, and that's why I really want to be a part of this committee locally. It's not going to kill me if I'm not. But they're going to benefit from things if I am. So they need to see the benefit of what I bring to the table, because I just don't come to the table to sit. I got a leg. I got 2 legs for the table if they need it.
Right.
God damn it, I'll bring my own table. Because when we talking about reparations in Washtenaw County, I know I'm good enough to where I can sit at my own table and I can start my own tunk game. But see, they're starting on a level where they're talking about reparations, and we got to get that switched around anyway. It is not reparations. It is local initiatives. Reparations happens in D.C. In this county, it is local initiatives that we're talking about, and we need to have those happen for American freedmen, descendants of slave. If you Negroes needs to say African-American, I'll even call you colored for NAACP's sake. But what I'm saying is it's for qualified people. It's not for Black people. It's not for minorities. It's not for people of color. Y'all can stop all that BIPOC shit talking to me, because none of y'all getting no reparations, no local initiatives, more than what you got. I get it. Y'all washed up on the shores. You were a sanctuary territory. They put you up in a 3-star hotel. Now you over here living better than American freedmen. But fuck all that. Once your paperwork get right, you're going to get out here in these streets. And if we're not getting what we need, don't make somebody come up and run you in your pockets. Because that's what they don't want freedmen to be. They don't want freedmen to be like, to where if they see all these people getting resources around here, and we just start running up on people that just got here, we're like, hey, are you new in town? Like, yeah, hold on a second. And we just put our hands right in their pockets. Because it'll get greasy like that out here if they want to keep ignoring us. And I'm talking about the Democrats. I'm talking about the ones that are in power. The Bidens, the Biden sexuals. All the Biden sexuals, y'all better understand. If y'all gonna keep riding with old Joe,
Biden sexuals?
Yes. We call them that over here. They are Biden sexuals. Oh, he said he got to get dressed. And I get you. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
He keeps an agenda.
Oh, yeah, he stays busy. He stays busy.
A lot of us be grinding while you be up in here. I can't even catch you all damn time. I'm supposed to be at work.
Don't worry about it. That's what you got. Thank you, Alexis.
And then you get your little smoke. 1, 2, 1, 2.
The United States, the original sin reparations are overdue. Cut the check. Yes, and double yes. So we want to have these conversations more fruitfully, but I came on this stream today just to really understand and make sure that we are starting out the right way. And the discussions have got to be held outside of the confines of the Black collective. We can't be afraid. Hey, I've heard all types of American Jews sit around and talk about the Holocaust for hours. They don't hold them up. You ain't gonna tell them about their plight. Well, God damn it, don't tell me about mine.
Don't tell us about ours.
Don't tell me about mine. And don't tell me what you think we should get. We didn't tell you what y'all should get or what y'all still getting. Huh?
I don't blame y'all for being scared if we do get our money back.
Because they understand.
So a bunch of y'all are scared as hell.
We done created so much in this country. What if we mess around and start creating again because we got the resources? Then we can get it patented. Then we can get it trademarked.
They won't even give us our just due.
They won't even get, dude. They're like, man, we can't let them. We can't let them even up the playing field. Because I tell you right now, I'm not trying to close the racial wealth gap with white people. They damn near as broke as I am. I'm trying to catch it to them Palestinians and them Asians and everybody like that, and them Hindus. That's who's running the roost around here. The racial wealth gap, the racial wealth gap eats with, look, they eat with their hands and chopsticks. I am not dealing with no white folks on the racial wealth gap no more. They too close to home.
Yeah,
we got some.
You about to hit your 2 hour mark.
I'm about to hit my 2 hour mark.
You know, we'll go for 2 more hours doing this shit.
Yeah. We need to recognize that when it comes to the economic gap between blacks and whites in America, it does come from a great injustice that has never been dealt with. Right. She's absolutely right. And they owe us, but we need to stop saying that we're just trying to catch them in the economic gap. No, we want what they owed us. And then once we get that and we pass them, we still going to keep coming for everything else. And everybody else that benefited off of it, we need to keep going. But yeah, the racial wealth gap, they want to stick that between black and whites. No, because white people trying to catch the Asians too. They trying to catch the Hindus too. They understand too.
They're trying to catch the Arabs, not necessarily the Asians. They're trying to catch the Arabs.
What are they trying to catch? Yeah, right.
I think they're trying to catch them Saudi Arabians. They got some serious money. Now, it's my understanding that Germany is the richest country in the world.
You know them stats like that. I don't be knowing. Look, man, U.S.
You know who said it? KRS-One.
How come KRS-One ain't making fucking songs about reparations? See, I'm on his ass too, just like I'm on Chuck D. I'm on all of them. They need to be rapping about. He been
trying to correct shit since the 80s and check that 2012.
I ain't worrying about correct stuff. Make a reparations record. Look, I'm about to be like Dollar Bill up in here. All you do is spin records.
You gonna be late. You gonna be late picking up your granddaughter. You keep doing this shit.
DJ Quick? Kid Capri?
Listen, he said,
"Oh, you must be Jimmy Walker."
They need to sit back and give us our equality, and if they don't, all we need to do is leave. He said they can't afford for us to leave.
You know what, Chris? Where the hell we gonna go? Where the hell we gonna go? This is our country. This is our home.
Eritrea?
This is our home. I'm not going. I'm like Ace and paid in full. Nah, man. Harlem, this is it. I'm like, nah, United States. I'm not going anywhere, dog. This is where my people's bones are buried. I don't know nobody over in Africa. Ain't nobody sent me a birthday card from Africa ever.
They try to send us money, though. They keep getting them emails. We got $15 million for you here in Nigeria. You know they're looking for your ass.
Somebody I know is stuck over in Africa, and they need me to send 36 Krugerrands. You know, I'm about to get up out of here, dog. I'm about to get up. Look, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Look, I got to put that up. You know, I'm going to put that up. And
plain and simple.
Yeah, so it's been going the way we need it to go because this is what we got. But we have to talk about it amongst ourselves, build the collective, and talk about it on the other side of the street. See, I deal with too many people on the other side of the street to be scared to talk about it. When I'm supposed to be just hush around them and not talk, I'm gonna get my business handled just like they get their business handled with me. I'm gonna get my business handled with them, and that's part of my business. That's part of my discussion. No land that can be tainted. Absolutely. And that's the thing about like the Freedmen's Bureau. We need to be able to have our own access to our own resources. We don't need to run everything back through their institutions. The Freedmen's Bureau can be guaranteed by the FDIC, and our shit needs to be unlimited. Let them regular banks be $250. Let our Freedmen's Bureau be unlimited. It'll ensure our money for good, and the United States can't come back. No, we need to change. There's so much stuff other than a direct cash payment, policy and legislation. But it all starts with building the Freedmen's Bureau, and I think we need one in every state. Since we got 50 states, let's put one even in the states ain't no black people in. We'll put one in North Dakota, and we'll put one in Wyoming. We'll let Cory Booker go work one, and then We'll let some, people like that who black, but they ain't really black and they can pass. Like Corey can pass in the wintertime. Corey is like a skinhead in the winter when he really lighten up. Barack look white in the winter. You ever see Barack in the wintertime? That's why he always stays on the beaches to keep that tan. Barack is pale. He looks like Mr. Dwight. He look like Mr. Dwight. Yeah, I'm going.
How you doing? I'm trying to get this dude to go. Yeah. And he won't stop. I'm gonna tell y'all. One of the things that we can do is just
continue to talk about it across the street.
He said
When they want to talk about LeBron, we talk about reparations. When they want to talk about Jay Morant, we talk about reparations. When they want to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis winning over Angela Bassett, we talk about reparations. Talk about change the conversation every time they want to talk about the bullshit. We want to talk about the real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
oh, you said Kanye got Wyoming.
Yeah, he
Kanye,
got Wyoming.
Yeah.
Him and Harrison Ford.
Hey, look, we don't do Wyoming and you get a pair of big boots. You go to Wyoming and you get a pair of big boots.
One major city in that motherfucker, so you know he's in the capital. He probably downtown.
Look, you can't even commit suicide in Wyoming. All their buildings is one level. All their buildings is one level and shit. You can't even commit suicide in Wyoming. And North Dakota just cold, you know. And
South Dakota cold as shit.
Yeah, so ain't no black folks going there anyway. That's right.
And don't go to Wisconsin. Do not go to Wisconsin.
Nah, dog.
Ooh,
nah.
I saw that story. God damn.
Only person they like over there is the Greek Freak. That's the only person, because Prince. No, that's Minnesota. No, who's the Greek Freak play for? He played for the Bucks.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay.
He's Milwaukee.
He's not a freedman, but this is what he could do.
No, he ain't.
He could say, look, black people love me in this city. And even though I'm not a native black American, I still think people in Milwaukee need to be repaired. Because you know who can't afford to see the Greek Freak play?
Black folks.
Black people. Games.
Black folks.
But no, they Africans. American freedmen are not at that game. Whatever his people are, there's a lot of them that are in there. Man, look. I'm trying to tell you. I have a problem with him being the celebrity of that city and really not speaking up for black people. I have a problem because there are other American freedmen, but they follow his lead. They're not going to step out and be like, you know, all civic minded and whatnot. What we need to have
up there. I didn't know it was that bad.
Oh, it's bad. Milwaukee's bad.
I met them about 3.5, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they said, if you come up here, don't stop at no red lights.
No, you roll those stops. It's how Detroit was in the carjacking heyday. It was like you roll those stops aren't stops. Those are stoops. You just roll right through those. And if you see somebody coming towards your car, hit it.
DC was that bad.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is we need people advocating for us in these spaces where they're really popular in these areas. Just like we need good politicians, we need good activists. We need the people that generate a lot of money in these territories. And that's what's not happening too. That means they don't have to be. Look, if they can put the Black Lives Matter on a shirt, put reparations now. So they can do reparations for Black Americans.
Sister Faith said the best. Why should y'all speak up for us? He ain't us. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
That is the truth. And
that's the truth.
We need his representation as a celebrity amongst us.
And she on point with this too. Sister Faye be on it. They do side with white supremacists. They side with white supremacy more than they'll ever side with us because they want to live on that side. Because
they
it's never been shown
where the power is. They're going.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't come over here. This ain't for play for them. No. See, they didn't come over here for equality. They came over here for equity.
For business.
That's equity.
Yes.
Yeah,
for business.
They didn't come over here and say, "Hey man, can we eat at the same restaurants as y'all?" They're like, "No, we're gonna build a restaurant and serve you niggas." That's what it is. That's
so how many of you go to other places and go to the hood instead of going somewhere affluent just to be safe and to be more comfortable? Then we can understand where they're going.
Most of the people that watch me do. I can guarantee it. And I've gone to areas that are really kind of questionable to get food and whatnot. Don't do it as much because I'm too far. I'm not really close to one like outside of Detroit.
I used to go places and stay in the rough areas.
I get it.
Until them niggas started robbing me. And I'm gonna say it like that on purpose. So yes,
yeah. Put that aside up with his reparation gear.
They put aside up with his reparation gear, yeah.
Okay. Pay Black Americans. Okay. We can talk. We can talk.
And all we want is our equality.
Aren't you a moderator? Aren't you a moderator for Pharaoh? Alexis, aren't you a mod?
They will know if we get elevated, they'll be on the bottom, so they don't care to side with us. No, they're gonna lose what they got. That's what they're afraid of. They're gonna lose what they got.
I just gotta make sure I got my driver's license.
What's so crazy is we're not even trying to take that much away from them. We just want we're supposed to have in the first damn place.
She's a mod for Pharaoh said that.
Yeah, she's a mod.
So
They don't even want to face that. They don't
I'd
even
love
want
to
to
be
face
able to,
that
I'd love to be able
fact.
to help move his merch.
They don't even want to
Build a
face that
partnership.
fact. We just want our damn equality. We just want to be on the even playing ground. I mean, even playing field. Yes.
Tone. They scared.
I know.
That's fear.
I know. Yes.
That's fear.
That ought to tell you how much you fuck people up.
Look, man.
If you're afraid of them to be just as equal, you fucked up pretty bad.
So who cares about a tie? They don't even want us to pull even with them because they know that pulling even with them is ahead of them.
Yes. And like she said, they're going to put them at the bottom. That's exactly what Sister Faith just said.
So my problem.
Exactly, Smoke.
We appreciate you, sis. Thank you. Honest to you. My thing is we want to push our agenda just like everybody else is able to push their agenda. But I always say, let's start at home. Let's clean our own front porch off. With our agenda, we need to be talking about reparations first. We're already doing what we're doing out here. We're already surviving.
Yes.
But we should be doing better than surviving after 246 of the most detrimental years in captivity, and then another 156. Now it's 57.
427 years total, I think, yes.
Come on, man. Why are we in a position where we're still in a bottom caste state collectively? Individually, we've done some different things, but collectively, we are still at the bottom. We do not yield the same resources that other people, and that's because of systemic damage.
There is systemic damage. There's also physiological damage. Umar Johnson says it's going to take a couple of decades, quite a few decades for the PTSD of slavery to come out of our mentalities.
Okay.
Thank you, Alexis.
Okay, but here's also the thing. Umar also said that we would spend all our money at the Cadillac dealerships and waste it and buy clothes and this, that, and the other, when he, in fact, has grifted hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a school, to buy a school, to
he's trying to build a school. Yes, he's trying to create a school. Yes, it's going to be up to us how we spend our money.
Okay,
it's going to
but we spend it ignorantly with Umar because he still ain't built a school. He ain't had one class yet. Science, math, social studies, English.
He didn't do it online.
He says he's got a building right now, though, dog, which was a dilapidated building that they were no longer going to use. It's never going to pass code. He's not going to put one student in that building, at least legally.
Right.
Legally, I don't believe he's going to.
Right. He's doing it online and get started. He got a plan. And he can break it down very well.
Oh, no. She just said the school got vandalized too this weekend.
I believe
things like that are going to continue to happen.
Yes. Yes.
Because you know what? With reparations, he's protected. Because doing things like that to a black-owned building, let's say he does own it outright, way he said he does, that's a hate crime. If that was a synagogue, that's a hate crime. If that was a Chinese church, that was a hate crime. If that was the Islamic temples, that's a hate crime. All those are hate crimes to everybody else.
Yes. Yes. Go, bro. You're already running over your time.
Yeah, I am. Luckily, I'm close, and I'm willing to do 90 to get her. So this was good. I loved the break in because I'm just where I'm at with this. I think I need to do another one of these. Are Black Americans afraid to talk about reparations?
They're not. And you've been on Twitter Spaces. I've been where you've been. You know they're not.
Yeah.
You know they're not.
But to white people.
And I'm not gonna lie. I wish we could play back what I said up there, because ain't nobody answered them questions yet. And you heard what I asked.
What's that?
Who we gonna put in place? We keep talking about the
old
shit.
Office?
New shit.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Well, here's the thing. Let's start there on part 2 of this. Let's start there.
I wish we could find those Twitter spaces.
Who do we put into our local offices?
Who do we put in the local offices? Who do we put on the national office?
Right.
And then what are we going to do as a collective? Because
reparations is not a political agenda, except for us. But as a part of all this other stuff, this is where reparations could kick in locally. This is where it could kick in locally. Okay, that's part of national. But we've got to be able to talk about this on all levels in the state houses and the city halls, and you know,
we don't all live in the same environment, so we got to hit all of our demographics at once.
That's what we got to do. Let me go get my baby. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Y'all beautiful.
Good talking to you.
We had a great talk. Smoke. When is part 2? Hey, we're gonna do a group. We'll do a group IG, and we'll figure it out. We can all get up here.
I'm free tomorrow evening around. I can aim for 6, either tomorrow or Thursday.
Smoke's still here, so see if you can do it then. Now, and the baby's home by then, so if we want to do it, then we can pop off then.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm more willing to listen because we need answers. We've had the conversations. I want some answers.
I want more people to come on and talk about these things
too. I want answers. And I'm going to tell everybody out there. Yes, when you send this message out, do me a favor, Alexis. When you send this message out, send this out to all the black people that's been talking and carrying the conversations. What are the answers? We know the history. We already know who's been putting what in place. We know legalization that's been put out there. This is what I said on Twitter Spaces.
Man, one day I might be able to get the G on. If I can get the G on one day, my platform will go crazy because Pharaoh said that. He's already spat this stuff before. I listen to a lot of stuff that he says, and it makes just total sense. And because he's in Chicago, which there's LA, New York, and Chicago. Yes. LA, New York, and Chicago. Because he's in Chicago, I can trust his opinion on a lot of stuff because he's in the 3rd biggest economic infrastructure. I mean, come on. Yeah. You've got LA and New York that have had the entertainment and broadcast situations, organized crime, motherfucker, in Chicago.
I know exactly what you just did. I missed my damn chiropractor appointment fucking around with you.
But your back don't hurt right now. You feeling good.
You ain't taking that credit. No. You ain't taking that credit. I just realized, damn it. This
message is brought to you by Freeman Media Chiropractors. We heal you with the message. let me go and get this outro music, man. I'm up out of here, dog. I'm up out of here. I'll holler at you later.
All right, man. Good talking to you, man.
All right, good talking to you, bro.
This revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man. You're a worm. You're afraid of us. You're afraid to give us equal
honors, sis. Honors.
You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
Oh, yes, the DMV. Dang. I don't know how. Look, you and Sister Rise need to pull me on something soon, Sister Faye. Freeman Media needs to get on by the People Media. Soon. Great stream. We was all over the place with it. But it was all Freedmen. All love. Well, that bass is hitting. Sister Yvette was right. Peace, y'all.